Today I'll be learning how to do a blind stitch. A blind stitch is a sewing technique which is visible on one side of the fabric or garment but invisible on the other. You usually would see this type of stitch on a hem of pants or a skirt. The first thing you have to do when doing any sewing is pin the garment in the correct position so you can sew in a straight line. In this case, with my skirt, I had to pin the hem so it was even all the way around. The type of stitch that is required for this particular sewing technique is a zigzag pattern to and from the hem and the skirt itself. So it isn't seen on the other side, the stitching has to be quite tight and small. I found this difficult at times as the fabric was quite thick. Theorist Albert Bandura is evident through my video and the way I learnt how to do a blind stitch. I observed my grandmother do it before I gave it a try myself. Bandura believed behaviour is learned from the environment through the process of observational learning, and that is what took place in my video. Before learning how to do it, I had watched my grandmother do it quite a few times and observed the way she did it, but it wasn't until I properly paid attention that I understood what she was doing. Theorist Lev Vygotsky was also evident in my video. Vygotsky's theory is evident throughout the steps of me learning this, as the zone of proximal development comes into play with a more knowledgeable other. The more knowledgeable other, this refers to anyone who has a higher level of knowledge compared to the learner, which in this case is me and my grandmother. Without my more knowledgeable other and her help, I wouldn't have been able to do a blind stitch. However, she guided me through it. I observed my grandmother first and then gradually was able to complete the task individually. Scaffolding is evident as by learning how to do a blind stitch, it extended the range of what I could do as a sewer and built on the foundations that I already had. Throughout the video, you'll see my grandmother help me when I ask for it or guide me in what I am doing before letting me continue on my own again. Theorist John Dewey was also evident in my video. Dewey's approach to learning is evident as I learnt how to do a blind stitch by actually doing it for myself instead of watching my grandmother do it the whole time. Dewey believed that learning was done best by doing rather than receiving. He had a very hands-on approach to learning, and I found that the easiest way to learn how to do a blind stitch. I didn't need to change the way I was learning this or come across any complications, as I found the best way of learning it for myself early on and went about it the way I usually would learn something new, and found it quite easy.